Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Here we are again. So it was fun getting the votes for which thing to paint today. I should do that more often. I just have to plan ahead and have my ideas ahead of time. So all of those photos I think were just from going to the pumpkin farm I think I went on Monday. And they all got a lot of votes, so maybe I'll just paint each one. But the one that got the most, just by a sliver, was the chicken. Good morning, Anita. Good morning, Emily. Hi, Pat. Hi, Lori. Good morning, Allie. Oh, hi, everybody. This is so fun. Good morning, Ellen. Yes, I kind of straightened it today. Kind of. She said my hair looks great. I don't know if it ever does. It's become too big of a project for me. My hair has turned into a whole different beast than what I know what to do with. Hi, Lonnie, Ellen, Nancy. So I'm excited to paint this. I think it's going to be fun. I was cropping it. Let me show you what I was doing here. Let's get on with it. Hi, Gabby. Okay. So I was going to crop it to a 6x8, but it cropped off like the bottom of him, and I kind of like this area of the chicken, so I did my shape is different. It's like a 5x9. It's a completely different kind of shape than I usually paint on, and that's something I don't take advantage of very often, because when you're painting on paper, you could make it any size. If you're just going to frame it, it could be any size in the world. It doesn't have to be standard sizes, so that kind of makes it fun. And then I was thinking of kind of just putting crazy colors in there, and then carving out kind of where all of his feathers are. They're so pretty. And I think I want to simplify the background. I don't want to have all that going on back there. I want the focal point to be the chicken. And the other thing I'm thinking about too is, like, I'm squinting at it and thinking about where my dark and light values are, because it's pretty much a monochromatic tone, but I think the darks are, down below here and in the face, and then the rest of it's light. So I want to maybe keep it pretty light and airy. So, no, wait, I think I can hear my music a little bit. Let me turn it down. It's the craziest thing. I can't paint with no sound, because it just feels weird to me. I think I always have so much noise in my life with 3 kids and a business and all the things happening. And we always have people coming and going at our house, that quiet is not a comfortable thing for me. I'm trying to embrace it. I'm trying to learn to love it, but I'm not there yet. So when I hear too much quiet, it almost sounds louder than life. How can that make any sense, huh? I'm going to map in where things are going to go. So how is everyone today? Anything new? Glad you guys came to hang out with me while I'm painting. I just kind of started thinking about holiday things. Like, I always do my ornaments, and I have my calendar. Did I tell you my calendar's printed? And I love it, love it, love it this year. So that's available on my website. I need to promote it a little bit so people actually know I have it on my website. What colors do I want to put behind him? I just want to be a little crazy with this. I keep kind of going back to but that was my initial idea. So I'm going to use crazy colors and then go back in and soften it with, I just want it to be fun. Fun, that's what we're in for today. So what's new? Tell me if you're doing anything fun. Oh, so I started talking about holidays. So I just started working on some of my little bird ornaments. It just feels so early. It doesn't feel like it's time for the holidays to me at all. I don't know how, people who do licensing and stuff or whatever, they have to work on holiday stuff way, 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 way before the holidays. And that just, I think I would have trouble with that. I guess maybe they just put on holiday music and pretend like it's the holidays early. would imagine that would work a little bit, but I'm having trouble doing it now. As usual, this might not turn out, but I know you'll forgive me if it doesn't, right? I just tell myself that takes all the pressure off. That's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, as ways of, because I know a lot of people when they're working on, I think I'm going to do a blue sky. I need to get out my manganese blue hue if I can find it here. My terribly unorganized brain, I have so much trouble. Like, I made my little bowls of all my colors organized by the ones I use. Whoops. Oh, I did not want to do that. I got to clean that off. It fell in my paint. Gosh, I can't find my manganese blue hue. So I buy more paints because I forget I have them, and now my bowl's just so full. I should just have one of each in there, but that would make way too much sense. All right, I have to remember to clean that. I just dropped a tube of paint into the colors on my palette. I don't know, or maybe that should go brown. No, I think I want that to be a little brighter. Good morning, Sarah. So yeah, I just got this ready last night, my panel that I'm going to paint on. Because it's a different size, so I didn't have it prepped already. But I had to put my last coat on before I went to bed, or it would have been too wet to paint on this morning. I like to let it dry for a little while. So where's everybody from? I don't know everyone who's on here. I know a lot of you. But you could put in the comments where you're from. Whoops, sorry. So his beak is her beak. Is it chicken? It's a chicken. Okay. Oh, I see everybody. I'm missing comments. Hi. Hi. Oh, my thing wasn't scrolling. I thought nobody was talking. What kind of paper do you use with oils, and what do you seal them with? Jeannie, I use Arches oil paper, and I put like 3 coats of gesso on it to seal it. They say you don't need to seal the Arches oil paper because it's actually milled to be to not need to do that, but I still like to seal it because I feel like it's super thirsty. And I do like thirsty paper, but just thirsty enough. I think sometimes it can get too much. Hi, Joy. How are you feeling? Are you better? Are you still in the hospital? I know you're recovering. I hope you're doing better. Ellen said, I just got back from my granddaughter's 16th birthday week in Georgia. Oh, that's so fun, Ellen. She's lucky to have you for a grandmama. That's very fun. Well, that's certainly a sloppy mess, right? Oh, maybe I need a little red in the body too. What do you think? Let's put some splashes in here of pinks and reds. I think that's good. I'm gonna clean up my stuff here and get out my oil sticks. Lonnie says, we are in Michigan for the first time. I brought art supplies but haven't touched them yet. Crazy late sunrise. Yeah, as our skies were red this morning, I think. I got up extra early. So I couldn't sleep, and it was pretty to see the sunrise. I've never been to Michigan. I have a friend that just moved there. Hi, Sheila. Ellen says it's been warm too. I think holidays are coming. Yeah, it feels like they are coming way too soon. Joy say. Anita says, I want to paint summer flowers. Yes, so do I. We'll be back around. Pretty good considering. Good, Joy. I'm glad to hear that. Good morning from Alberta, Canada, Kansas. Gabby's in Seattle. Western Australia. Wow. Yeah, Ellie's in New York City. Yay, the chicken. Beautiful. Painting hello from Dubai. What time is it in Dubai? South Carolina, upstate. Good morning. I still have trouble with the quiet, and I still cook too much. Yes, and I buy too much food. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, there's no one to eat it. It's crazy, crazy. From Nashville, but drinking coffee on the edge of Lake Chapin in Bahrain, Michigan Springs. Wow, that sounds beautiful, Lonnie. Good morning, Ohio. Hi, Susie. Space Coast, Florida. Chile, Indiana, and drinking coffee. Cambodia. Hello to Cambodia. Hi. Joy is in the UK. From India. Maybe we should paint a year ahead and save them. Ellen, yeah, we should. That is a really good idea. Although my style, I think, changes in a year. Like what I want to do, my husband's always the first one. Like when I go to an art show, he'll be like getting paintings ready to go. And I'll be like, I don't like that one anymore. He's like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean someone else won't. But I do get kind of like what I'm into and what I enjoy keeps shifting. That's what keeps it fun. Although I do also have some paintings that I love that have never sold, and I don't know why. And I just didn't find the right person yet. That's usually it. Thank you, Ellen. Ellen came shopping in my studio one time. Now my goal is to leave these colors kind of show through in the end. Might be a little crazy. But I'm pushing that comfort zone or pushing my window of what I'm comfortable with, or because I always get that, I was called, I feel itchy. I feel itchy for change, or I feel itchy for, I have all these fun Arna pigment sticks that I've never gotten out. I wonder if I have a green. Oh, well, I'll just use this bright green that I have here. Look at that fun chicken. Okay. Joy said, do you have a color game plan? I have no game plan, Joy. I very rarely do. That's one of my problems, is I rarely have a game plan. It's good for listening to your intuition, but it's not so good to know ahead of time what you're doing. How do you set the oil when finished? Does it smear? Oh, yeah, it could smear until it's dry. It takes probably about a month or two to dry. A month on paper. It takes less time to dry on paper than it does on a hard panel. I guess because it can't breathe through the back. But I put varnish. I varnish it. I usually use a spray varnish over top. All right, I'm getting more paper towels. Okay, so I want to paint mix some of the more realistic colors. So I want kind of these whites that go like, let's say warmer, cooler reds, and then do like kind of, fun sky color. Where'd that go? Right here. So we'll move you guys down here with me. I'm going to move my coffee out of the way. Unfortunately, I almost have no coffee. I got up. Can you see that okay? All right. And I wanted to put a little bit of this titanium buff out also. So I think I want to do pretty neutral colors. Maybe I'll start with the green. I need a nice grassy green. Dorks. nice, but it's very saturated. So I'm going to take a little bit of that and move it over here and put a little bit of red in it to desaturate it, to make it look a little less bright, less color, less bright. Do a little more. And I think I need a little more green. I don't have enough. Sometimes I don't mix enough of my colors. Now it needs a little more red. I like to just do a little bit of it at a time, especially when you mix reds into something. Like some of the colors are stronger than others, and if you mix too much in, it changes color so much so quickly. Yeah, that's a nice desaturated green. Okay. And now, good morning. Hi, Mary Ann, to Long Island. And all right, I'm gonna do a little bit of reds for reds. I don't need a lot of red. And now I'm going to do some kind of more brownish grayish. I'm going to try this. Good morning, Judy. I want that to go a little grayer. I'm going to actually add a little bit of black in there and see where it goes. No, not loving that. Can water soluble be mixed with regular oil paints? I don't know. You would have to use oil paint medium to do that, but I've never tried it. I do have water soluble oil paints here, but I've never tried using them with regular oil paints. You could probably Google that. Oh, that's a nice, let me put a little bit more. Now that got a little too magenta. I'm going to hold it up here. No, it's actually not. Take a little bit of that and a little bit of brown. It's not enough brown. A little bit of this warm white. Do you use any medium when using oil paints? I just use I use solvent in my very first layer, but I won't now. I'll just go over top because it's my base is like wet. I can just go right in now and paint with straight oil paint. That's nice. Okay, so I want to bring that and go. What color is the bright red? Oh, Ellen, I love that bright red. It is this one. I use it only when I need, like hardly ever, usually in birds like chickens. This is Vasari's Permanent Bright Red because it's hard to get a vibrant bright red. Yeah, but there is this purple in here. I want to cool this off. Oh, let me put a little bit of this gray in and see what we get. Well, that's a very fun color. All right, let me put a little bit more of that blue out if I can find it. Not that one. My gosh, how do I constantly lose my colors? I just put it out there this morning, I think. And I already can't find it. Let me stand up here and look. Well, that's the problem when you have too many colors to be able to find them. And I do love seeing how people organize their paints and like hang them up so they can see them easily. Like that is brilliant. Way out of my my zone of what I can do, I think. Gosh, I don't know what I do with that. Sorry. Let me look a little bit more. I think it must be right in front of me and I'm just not seeing it. My gold ochre, I could use a little bit of that. Gosh. Give me one more second here. I really kind of want that color. I could use, what else could I use instead? I put it over here. Well, that's just crazy. Well, this Portland warm gray. Let me play with this one instead. Yes, we got to do a Vasari trip. That would be oh so fun. Allie, did you say it's still in New York? That's nice. Let me. So sometimes when I can't find a color I'm looking for, I'll just kind of skew to like looking for something I didn't even think of to take me in a whole different direction, and it's usually a good one. They're fun colors. Look how all those neutrals. I think I need to have one that might go a little darker. Take a little bit of this and maybe mix a little bit of ultramarine blue into it for that dark underneath of her belly. I don't know. I think that's a good start. All right, we have to make a Vasari field trip. How am I going to organize that? Oh, that would be so fun. Probably take the train. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do? Gonna. I need to. Gonna's not a word, right? It sounds Pennsylvania Dutch or something. I need to go in and work on the eye a little bit. So this, it's hard. Probably, yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Looking for where it goes. I usually do start with the eyes on birds or even on pet portraits because it gives me kind of a point of reference that grounds me, I guess, would be a good word for it. It helps me to know that everything's going to be okay. Sounds crazy, right? I also was thinking that one of the things, I'm working on an abstract for something to be able to do some photo shoots for my holiday stuff. And sometimes, often, a weird thing that I do is I skirt around the middle of, oh, this skinny one. This is a Rosemary and Company #2 Eclipse Pointed Round. I do like it for working in the little eyes and mostly just eyes. That's about the only time I ever use a tiny brush. It's usually the only place in the painting that I get this detailed because I like spontaneity. But I do love when the eyes the eyes have so much of the personality. A couple darker. Oh, you can hardly even see what I did there, right? It's so tiny. A little lighter. All right, I can go a little larger. I have a little bit bigger, larger brush here. So I'm going to get a little bit of that around his eyes kind of settled in so that I don't then I can have fun with the rest of it and not think about it so much. Oh, so I was saying, yeah, it's good to work on things like if there's part of a painting that I don't feel confident about, then that's where I need to focus my attention so so I can get rid of that nag of that something's not quite what I want it to be. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense at all? It is something I think about. I notice it a lot that I'm like, sometimes I'll avoid the middle of a painting. It's like, then I just need to dive in. Or like the eyes, I need to have them kind of set before I can be super spontaneous with the rest of the painting. Thanks, Allie. Okay, so let me get a little bit more of this lightness and then I can it's a little grayer in here. Get a little gray. I'm darker up here, and then I'm going to I'm worried that you guys will get bored watching me do this part of it, but it does take a lot of thought, like just if you get little bits of it just right, the rest of it comes together much more easily. Irma says, my daughter has 15 chickens. This one reminds me of one of them. Oh, isn't that fun? So you can go photograph her chickens anytime you want. Irma, you're lucky. Do you? Does she live near you? Thank you, Ellen. I wonder if that needs to have more color. Just do a little bit this way, and then maybe I'll mix some blue in there. It'd go too long. Good morning, Donna. I'm getting a paper towel here in front of me. Time is at 8:30. So, what do you want to talk about here? I'm being so quiet because I'm thinking. Sometimes when I do a painting that's a little more challenging, I can't chatter as well because my brain's busy. How do you decide on the background color? I don't know. I just felt like it was a little too brown the way it was, but I don't dislike it so it could all shift again. I could always change the background color, but I wanted it to look like sky kind of, but still have a little looseness and personality and texture. Yeah, the background's fun, right? Okay, so now I should go in here and work on some of my darks. I do often go in and add some background just so that I have something to work into. I help kind of use my background to carve things out too. I should do some of the green. There were these chickens at I got the photo of this chicken at the farm where we bought our pumpkins this week. And there were chickens there that were so funny looking. Did you see them in my story? They had like big ploufs. They looked like fur coats on their heads. Their whole bodies were super fluffy. Terry says, how do you decide on your background color, and do you have a strategy for brushstrokes? Nope. Well, sometimes I do have a strategy of what I want to do, but in this case, I'm trying to keep this loose and fun, and so I'm not really overthinking any of that. And, you know, with a painting, the good thing is I can always go and change it, too, if I am unhappy about something. But I'm trying to keep it spontaneous. And, yeah. So I don't really have a plan. My plan was to have a really colorful background and then go in and kind of carve out the look of the turkey from that. So I guess in a way that is a plan, right? That's a plan. I think I need to make this even darker right here. So it's a shadow area of that little So I want to let some of that color show. And it's a little, you know, random where I put the colors. So I like that feel of it. To clean my brush off and get a little bit in here. Maybe I should work on his little, what is the red part there called? I don't even know. I don't know my turkey parts or my chicken parts. There was actually a turkey at the farm too. They're big. Turkeys are huge. At least the one that I saw. I never realized quite how large they are. Big and lots of attitude. Push this back a little bit. Right here. And then this kind of comes forward here. And then we have this little okay. Can you guys see okay? Oh, I'm missing comments again. M says, I want to come home and go to the pumpkin place. We have no cute place near us to go. Well, we're home this weekend, Ems. Come home. That would be fun. Yeah, we do have a lot. But Ellen was telling me, Ellen Core was telling me that because of the floods that I did notice that there were a lot fewer pumpkins this year than normal. And she said it's because of the flooding that they have fewer pumpkins, and it's been so warm that they're not lasting. But that's okay. We only need them to last through trick or treat, right? Yeah, come home. It's a little lighter here. Allie says turkeys have, yes, they do have big personalities. You would know, yes. Allie is so wonderful to all the animals. Let me see. I want to get that little darker brown in here. I think I need to almost go black. Sparse and, yep, it was sparse and slim pickings. That's tough for them business-wise, I'm sure. Yep, I thought it was just that I got there too late in the season, but I guess it's really not that late. We're not even ready for trick-or-treating yet. I was just in the attic looking for a Halloween costume yesterday. Okay, stop. I'm just fussing with things that I don't need to be. It's time to go in and work on the little feathers. I think I'm better off if I go down, and I don't want to get overwhelmed with them either. Like, I want to just have that feel, but not like be drawing each one. Now he's looking a little too gray up here. And I don't want to fuss too much. I keep doing that. I do love all those colors. I love that the kind of how the undercolors mix into now what I'm putting on top. This little kind of bloomy little. I guess that's over his foot. That little bit of gold mixing in there too. Fun having that color peek through, isn't it? All right, I need a sip of my coffee. What's everybody having today, coffee or tea? I'm already finishing my coffee, so I'm going to need to move on to tea today. Question for viewers from a city girl. How do you tell if it's a rooster or a hen? I don't know, Judy. I kind of think they look alike. Allie, do you know? The citiest of all of us girls? Do you know? Because I really don't know. Maybe they look alike, but then how would they know for each other, you know? I should have taken a picture of the whole thing. It was hard. She just would not sit still for me. Isn't that crazy? And it was the only one that was outside. Like the rest of the chickens were behind the fence. So it was really hard to get a photo without the fence. I probably should have just went and asked if I could walk in there. When they're young, the roosters grow a big crown. Oh, thanks, Allie. Are you using a tube color now? Joanne. Oh, and they crow. I don't think I was using a straight from the tube color, but I could have been. Got a little dark. There's a lot of colors popping through there too from the pigment sticks. Oh, what did Anita say? The crowing is a giveaway. Oh, and they are meaner. Roosters have it, and they crow. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, it doesn't help in a painting to know if it's a rooster or a chicken, right? The combs and wattles are more pronounced. Oh, okay, Ellen. The combs and wattles are more pronounced. So this is probably a chicken and not a rooster, right? In this beak too. Whoops, I had paint hanging off the bottom of my brush. It's never good. All right, what else do I need? Do I need more? I'm using a little bit of a smaller brush here to get more of this kind of detail in here. That's the kind of thing, like you could go in here and get lost in adding all these feathers because it's so fun, but I just want to hint about it, not do too much. I need to go a little lighter over here. Good morning, Dawn. And you see how little it really needs to make it look that pronounced. It really doesn't need a lot of anything to give those feathers the feathery feel. I need to do a little bit more right here. And then you tell me when I start fussing and should stop, right? I always say when I feel like I'm fussing at it and I'm not making any new progress, that it's time to be finished. This would be a fun one to do really large. All these feathers. What time is it? 8:46. Kind of ahead of schedule today. That's awesome. A little lighter behind his head, I think. Behind his head. Lighter back here, you mean? Where do you mean, Gabby? Amber Sunshine said, I love this technique of layering more neutral tones over bright, crazy colors. I know, it's so fun. It really does add whimsy to it. That's right. I love that word. Do you like the color of the sky? Yes, I like the... Or do you think if I made the sky more gray, the colors in the chicken would pop more? What do you think of that? Should I try that? Should I gray the sky a little bit? Because we do have time. Not a lot, but or maybe, yeah, I'll do it a little bit. Like, I don't have to go crazy with the neutraling of the sky, but I'll do a little bit. The graying, neutral. I'm going to do the same color, but add more grayish neutral to it. Let's see if that, yeah, I don't know if it'll work or not. Let's do this color and see what we get. Oh, I'm missing comments. It's only paint, go for it. Right, I agree. It is only paint. Although in a case like this, like, it's always a good idea maybe to take a picture of it before. How do you know if you liked it before or after? Is that too pink? Maybe. Darker color would make it pop. Yeah, I think so. Let me make this even darker. Use a big, larger brush, not bigger, larger. I always have to think about whether I'm supposed to be saying bigger or larger. I think it is helping the colors in the chicken to pop a bit more. Oops. Right? Yeah, it does make the colors pop more in the chicken. The brighter. You liked it before, Marianne? I don't know. I do think that helped the colors in the chicken to stand out more. Do some spontaneous, like. Loves the colors. Good. All right, I think we're good. I think I'm going to sign it 8:50. We're good. Sign it over here, this side. And I'll pull the tape off. Oh, no, wait, what did Judy said? Maybe one more level of light value on his chest where it's the lightest to make it look like he has more volume. Right in here, Judy. Okay, let me try that. It's a good idea. I want him to have volume for sure. Is this the brush I was using? I think it is. Would that help a little bit? And that give it a little more volume? Sometimes those lightest lights, I forget to even go in and add them at the end. There. Okay, let me see. What's everybody saying, Carol? What is his name going to be? Oh, I know. Aren't they fun, Carolyn? If anybody has any suggestions, sometimes I have trouble thinking them up, but I do love thinking of the traits of the birds. Oh, can you hear them outside, Allie? My gosh. Airy and his back so that his neck gets pulled forward a bit. I mean this, lighten that. Is that what you're saying? Let me see. It helped a little bit. Okay. Okay, so all chickens are named Henrietta, are they? Well, this one could be named Henrietta. That's fun. All right, let me pull this off. Henrietta, what should her personality traits be? Get that in the trash can so I don't make a mess. Like there, let me move my hand. See all the colors in there? So that's just that fun stuff I did in the background, popping through. Oh, you know what I didn't do was a little, Henrietta's paper is bending. I need just the teeniest little bit of spark in that eye. That usually makes such a big difference. No, wait, gosh, this is a bad idea. No, I don't have a paintbrush in my mouth. Hold on. Oh. I am just so accident prone. Like this whole thing would fall off of here. Let me just tape that on. And just put a little. Well, that's way too much. How did I know that was going to happen? Okay, I have this itty bitty teeny tiny brush that I'm going to. It's almost so tiny that I can't even see what I'm doing. There. Okay. That gave it brought it alive. Henrietta. She loves a hot cup of coffee, but not fond of eggs. Now, I love that. It's like my mother-in-law. Cup of coffee, but not fond of eggs. No, she's not. Not eating them anyway. Henrietta. Okay, so what was I thinking? I forget. I'm still looking at it. It's like hard to feel finished. So that's what Henriette looks like. So I will turn this around and say goodbye. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. It was very fun. And I will, excuse me, you know the drill. I'm going to save this and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. Please go on my YouTube channel and like, subscribe and and like and comment if you have anything to say about the paintings. Of course, you all just watch. There are lots of them over there if you'd like to see more. It was fun way to start the day. Now, am I forgetting anything else? I don't think so. So we will do this again next week. And guys, we have to figure out a time to go to the Vasari store in New York. I would love that. And you guys are welcome. And I will see you soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.